back here at Paris Auto Speedway. Marty Reed along with Ivan Stewart. This is the Inaugural Pro 2 action in our 3 classes that you'll see on our 1-hour broadcast today. And this is the battle for the race lead. You're saying, what happened to Scott Taylor? Well, he has dropped back behind this group. Ricky Johnson with his pressure on race leader Jeremy McGrath. And this is interesting. 2 champion Supercross, motocross guys go.
They are having fun. And Rick back there, I can guarantee you, he's thinking, I'm going to get you. It's the last thing I do.
Well, it was Ricky Johnson who set the records in Supercross. Then Jeremy comes along and broke all those records. So it might be an opportunity for Ricky to say, hey, I'm going to teach you a lesson here.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. But I can guarantee you, watch, what I'm predicting here is you watch these trucks go through here. Watch how well and how low Rick's truck sits and how Jeremy's truck will kick in the back once in a while. When there's kicks in the back, those tires on the ground, you're not driving forward, you're not braking. So you kind of keep an eye in here. You guys can watch on the air, what truck looks good and smooth.
Great point. And that's what it's hard sometimes if you're not knowing what you're looking at. But see, right there's what you're talking about. Look at how he's getting that bite, and that truck is just sitting down low.
And they're not chasing the steering wheel. They're not sawing back and forth. Other than Rick's a little smoother, just a little smoother.
And as you can see, we have 10 laps to go, which means we're at the halfway point, and we will soon be getting our competition caution. And that was instituted by the series to give the fans a little more of this racing action, and also to give guys a chance to get back into the battle.
Yeah, you're right. For example, earlier we saw some of the guys get tangled up and they're falling back. Well, they're not going to catch you guys. There's just not enough time in a short course race like this at 20 laps. Once you're back up again, let them go, then we might see some new leaders here.
And you can see the yellow is out, so there is our mandatory competition caution. And there is the gap back to 3rd place, Scott Taylor. And a bit of surprise there. I thought he'd stay in contact with those 2.
Yeah, I did too. I see, typically he's up front. He's more competitive. He's a little bit off, I think, Marty.
36 years of off-road racing for Scott Taylor, and he has won multiple championships. There is the running order. Only 2 trucks are out of the competition here at the halfway point in Inaugural Pro 2 action. While we've got a moment, let's take you back to last night and show you what happened in Pro 2. And again, you're going to see some familiar faces who we're watching right now.
Here they are, Rick Johnson, Jeremy McGrath. They're at it again. They're in 7th heaven, I can tell you. Banging fingers. And
it was Ricky getting around for the last pass that counted, and he picks up his 2nd win in 3 races to go with a 2nd place finish in round number 2. So he's the points leader right now, and here he is trying to track down the same guy from last night. And it is Jeremy McGrath, followed by Ricky Johnson, and then Scott Taylor is in 3rd, but he's got his hands full as well. You look at that battle down the straightaway. Here comes a battle for the lead. Who's going to hold on to it through the corner? McGrath, but he's on the high side. Can Ricky get underneath? And I think he did. I think he snuck underneath the camera, and yes, he takes over the lead. So Ricky Johnson was able to hold the inside line.
What a great pass. That was a great race. And I see Scott Taylor back there. I'm predicting more from Scott Taylor. He's typically a little more aggressive and up front, but he got tangled up with traffic there, so I'll let him out on this one.
So you can see that it is now the 80 of Mike Oberg also in the mix, as he has picked up 3rd, relegating Scott Taylor back to 4th. So good move by Oberg. And it is now Johnson trying to open up some ground, and there you see Scott Taylor. He's trying to reel in. Whoa, and that is Todd LeDuc and Evan Evans as they get tangled up in the corner.
We may mention that Evan Evans, son of the famous Walker Evans, drives with hand controls. He's been in a wheelchair for many years from a motorcycle non-racing accident.
Paraplegic from the chest down and does a remarkable job. And oh, Scott Taylor almost turns it all the way around but manages to save it. But again, he's not able to close in. Take a look, you get an idea. That's what happened with LeDuc, and also the 10 truck of Greg Adler was in that mix. We didn't see him in the original pickup.
Scott Taylor's off a little bit. I would say he's got a brake bias. Keep in mind, these guys have brakes are so important on this and how the bias is set up. If you get too much front wheel brakes, the front end locks up and you can't turn. Too much rear, it rotates too quickly. And that's what I'm predicting at Scott right there.
Yeah, nice little slide job as he basically uses Mr. Oberg for a bumper.
And what he's going to say at the end of the race regardless, hey, my brakes are bad.
Yeah, right. But your door works real well. Thank you very much. And it's still Oberg, though, holding on to the position over Scott Taylor. And as this great action continues, I want to go back to your comment. You said Pro 2 is your favorite. Why?
Well, I just like the idea that you can they're two-wheel drive. You can just pitch that car in there like a sprint car or a midget, something like that. You got to control that slide. They're a little less expensive. Just a little more fun to drive, I think, for me. Uh-oh, we got, that's Doug Fortin on barrier.
Yeah, he is high-centered on the concrete barrier, and that is going to bring out our second caution with 6 laps to go. So we'll peel Doug off of the barrier and step aside just for a moment here at Paris Auto Speedway. And we're about to go back to green flag racing here at Paris Auto Speedway in our Inaugural Pro.
Rick Johnson checking out. He's got the high line. He's on the move.
And the battle for 3rd and 4th was also going on. Take a look. That is the number 8 of Scott Taylor trying to get underneath. And he has got Mike Oberg. If he can make it stick, he'll pick up 3rd. Through the rhythm section.
Well, I just like the way Rick truck works. It's just the best handling truck out there. Not to mention the talent that he's got not only as a driver, but as a promoter now, Marty.
That's right, as he and Mitch Covington are the co-owners of the series. They do not sanction the events. They're sanctioned by USAC, so they make all the rules since Ricky is driving, and that takes away that conflict.
That's a great idea, great concept. I think they got so much opportunities here. This is fantastic.
All the drivers got together as part of this project as well, and there you can see that Ricky has opened up now about 10 truck lengths, and McGrath is being challenged by the Skyjacker number 8 Ford of Scott Taylor. Taylor has all of a sudden found some new life.
He'll come to life. I think he's just off a little bit tonight. You know, typically if you watch Scott Taylor over the years, he is a little bit better, in my opinion, when you put him on a big track. These little tight tracks, I don't really think fit his driving style. He's bigger at Crandon and some of them bigger tracks.
Do you notice who's in 4th? Rob McCachran has fought his way back into this mix. There he is in the number 11. So McCachran, who had fallen all the way back to 7th, has now got himself back into possible podium position.
You never leave out Rob McCachran. He is such a smart off-road racer, from desert to stadium to Mickey Thompson to short course. You name it, he's done it. He's won championships. You never leave Rob McCachran out.
And to think he started as a valet parker at one of the casinos in Las Vegas.
That's right. The story is that Walker Evans' dad recognized him and helped him along the way, and now he's been making his living for many years in off-road racing.
There you see the top 4. They have checked out on the rest of the field as the laps are winding down. We have about 3.5 to go here in our AMSOIL Pro 2 division. And it is Ricky Johnson by about 7 truck lengths now over Jeremy McGrath. Then there's Scott Taylor and Rob McCachran.
You know what I love the fact in this form of racing, somebody that lives in Milwaukee, Nebraska, and wants to go off-road racing can actually come out. You don't need to be licensed to come out here and off-road race with us. Buy a used truck, buy a buggy, buy a truck, get involved, and have a good time. It's very, very approachable. The guys are all willing to tell you how to.
Whoa! Big problems for the number 8 of Scott Taylor. He turned it around in the corner, and it's going to cost him dearly.
That's why I say I think he's got a problem. But anyway, bring the fans out. Come out, watch these races, and get involved.
Let's go back and see what happens here. He just gets it in there hot and turns it around. And that goes back to what you were talking about. You like him better on the big tracks.
I do. I think he's a little more talented in the bigger tracks. The other, what's probably happening, all these guys, watch how sideways they're getting. Those rear tires are getting boiled off, Marty. You got 900 horsepower spinning 2 tires. Those tires are down to nothing.
That's the 25 of Mark Jenkins that Taylor's going back around. He's trying to get himself back into a better points-paying position, but his chances of the win are gone after that spin.
Now, Mark is the owner of the Traxxas organization that makes the radio control cars and the sponsor of this event. And he's learning about off-road racing. Doesn't have a lot of experience, but he's out there with the big boys doing. See how he gets the truck sideways there, that black truck? No good. You got to keep it going straight ahead. You can't get it sideways. Cost you time. Last lap.
White flag is out. You saw the gap between 1st and 2nd. There's your race leader. You're on board with Ricky Johnson. In 2nd place, it is Jeremy McGrath. And 3rd place now is Dan Vandenheuvel, name we haven't mentioned yet today. He got through when Taylor lost it and got collected there, and he managed to skate around a couple of people and move into 3rd. And that's exactly what you were talking about, all that spinning action.
That's right. Getting way too sideways cost you a lot of time.
Couple of turns left for Ricky Johnson. Boy, he is making a statement here, as this will be his 3rd win in 4 rounds. And all he has to do is negotiate a couple more corners.
He's relaxed. He just put his hand out, waved to somebody. He's happy.
So the winner for the third time this year, Ricky Johnson, followed by Jeremy McGrath, Dan Vandenheuvel in third, Rob McCachran fourth, and Scott Taylor will round out the top 5. And right after the race, we were able to catch up with Ricky and get his excited comments as he was happy with the win and a lot more.
Oh, man, this is awesome. And I want to thank all the crowd for coming out and believing in TORC. My truck, Barlow Motorsports, these guys gave me the best piece out there. The Kumo tires, you know, Red Bull, Bosch power tools. They gave me all the tools that I need.
Take a look at the points chase right now through 4 rounds and 22 markers between first and second. That's a big margin, Ivan.
It is a big margin. Long way to go, though.
I'm here with Ed Sursak, who is a principal engineer at Kumo. Now, Ed, why don't you tell us the different options that the drivers have to choose from?
Okay, Kimberly, for today's race, we have brought 35, 12, 50, 17s, which is the big tire that all the pro teams use. Once we've decided on the compound that we're going to go with, then we start adding the grooves based on what the drivers like. As you can see the difference here, we've purposely left these large areas full of rubber, so that way we can cut out where we need to cut to add either traction, steering, or side bite for the driver.
Now, talking about side bite, I see that you guys have this pretty little detail on the side, but it's not just there to look pretty. What is its function?
Actually, we call those side biters, and they actually do have a function. And you'll be able to watch. The folks on TV can see if a tire is really hooking up well or if it's spinning by the size of the rooster tail. You watch the rooster tails coming off. If they're long and low, the tire is really hooking up, grabbing the earth and throwing it out and getting a lot of forward bite. If you see that rooster tail spinning up fairly high, the tire's just spinning and the driver's not getting that forward bite that he's looking for.
Supercross legend Jeremy McGrath is still looking for his first TORC off-road victory. But Jeremy's childhood hero and Pro 2 points leader Ricky Johnson is considered to be his biggest obstacle. The epic battle between them continues here at Bark River, where every corner is unpredictable. The mayhem is about to begin right now.
Okay, Leah, here at the Boss Snowplow International Speedway, it's going to be a side-by-side rolling NASCAR-type start. But when the green flag drops, it's going to look just like a land rush start. They're going to spread out, go crazy, and really stick it into that first turn. It's like a whole shot in motocross.
And we are off and running.
Here we go. It looks like Dan Vandenheuvel on the point, taking the inside with Jeremy McGrath pressing the point.
Jeremy McGrath, number 2 on the inside in the black Toyota Monster Ride. Dan Vandenheuvel, the winner yesterday. He sits in first place. Keep your eye on that ride. Number 48, that is Ricky Johnson, the points leader.
And they're getting going now. And here at Bark River, man, I love this track because it's got a huge jump out here coming up.
And we already have carnage on the track. Dan Badeau, number 7, watch this, into the big wall. And he collects up into that one. But the race continues on, no red flag. Watch it one more time on the inside. He just gets bumped and just gets stuffed into the concrete.
Well, you know, you hit that wall pretty hard, Todd.
No question about it. Meanwhile, Jeremy McGrath, number 2, on board the Toyota Monster BFG right out of Encinitas, California. Does the name sound familiar? Well, it should. Supercross Motocross champion.
I'm definitely a finesse and strategy guy. I want to come back off the track with all my fenders and all my parts on my truck, and a lot of these guys don't.
But Dan Vandenheuvel coming back and taking that line from McGrath.
Hey, Dan got his first win yesterday, and he's feeling his Wheaties this morning. He's going at it with Jeremy McGrath, who knows how to rub pink.
No question about it. McGrath knows how to find that perfect line. Jeremy McGrath in search of his first win of the season. He's got a couple seconds, but he is looking for a first-place finish here in Pro 2. Now, he had an ignition problem yesterday, finished 15th. That really hurt him in the points.
It really did hurt him in the points for right now, but I'm telling you, it's a long season ahead of us here in the Traxxas TORC Series. Anything can happen, and he's right in the middle of the hunt.
Dan Vandenheuvel continues the lead here in Pro 2. Then it's Jeremy McGrath, Taylor, and LeDuc now moving up into the fray. But is Dan Vandenheuvel somewhat of a local? He comes from nearby Appleton, Wisconsin on the Chevy Maxxis ride. And yesterday was certainly his day to shine.
Hey, well, he's got those Maxxis tires looking looking really good. He's, like I say, he's coming in with a lot of confidence. And when people have a lot of confidence, you know, they let it all hang out early. It's going to be a matter, too, of how well he manages his rear tires, because in the Pro 2-wheel drive class, you get a lot of wheel spin, and if you're not careful, you'll spill all your popcorn in the lobby, Todd.
Here he comes, Ricky Johnson, the AMSOIL Pro 2-wheel drive points leader. Had problems yesterday. We talked to him after the race. His arms were all pumped up because he lost his power steering. He was just muscling that thing through. But the smart thing that Ricky did, he finished the race and accumulated more points.
He did. Ricky's a veteran, and he knows how to handle these situations. He had a game plan.
I try to break into the top 3 by halfway point. From there, I can see the leaders, and then from there, go to work and try to win that race.
Hey, it's going to be a free-for-all toward the end of the season here at the Traxxas TORC Series.
The 3 of Todd LeDuc has now moved into 2nd place, and Jeremy McGrath has slid back to 3rd place. Was it this tap right here? Is that enough to cause a little harm to his ride?
Well, you never know. These guys are moving on, you know, and you never know when you make contact who's going to get the better of it. So it very well could have done some damage, but hey, Jeremy's still out there going at it. He's in 3rd. You never know. It's a long race, and Jeremy may be hanging back. He's a real patient driver, and he's in it for the points as well.
No question about it. McGrath does not get rattled easily. Young man out of Encinitas, California, in the Monster Toyota BFG-sponsored ride, currently sitting in 3rd place. Ricky Johnson sits in 6th. He is the points leader. Dan Vanden Heuvel, the big winner yesterday in round number 7. He is off and running, and I'll tell you what, he likes Bark River, and this track seems to like him. Yesterday, Pro 2 conditions were tough. Points leader Ricky Johnson had his issues, as did Jeremy McGrath, but that left a great battle. Number 77, Dan Vanden Heuvel, and number 11, Rob McCachran.
And what's that move by Rob McCachran? That's the old tap and go. And it worked out really good for Rob McCachran early on, but hey, it didn't pay off in the end.
Vanden Heuvel gets him at the 2nd last turn. This finish would be reviewed by USAC, but it would stand. Dan Vanden Heuvel would get his first victory in Pro 2.
Another guy we got to keep our eyes on in this race, Todd, is Todd LeDuc. He's moved up into 2nd place, and he's got that Rockstar truck really looking good this year, and he's right in the mix once again, so don't count him out.
Todd LeDuc also looking for his first finish. His best finish, 2nd place in Crandon, Wisconsin, out of Cherry Valley, California. Part of the LeDuc Racing family, very strong roots out west, and they are very experienced. We are on lap number 3. Traxxas TORC Racing, presented by AMSOIL, is brought to you by Put Yourself.
Just like other forms of motorsports, the Traxxas TORC Series takes a unique combination of machinery and driver ability.
You look at all the NASCAR guys, they're all capable of winning, but if you have that right car, so it's 95% car, 5% driver. Here, I'm going to say 60% car, 40% driver.
We're on dirt, so compared to asphalt, we're sliding around, we're in control about 50 to 75% of the time. The rest of the time, we're sliding sideways, we're in the air, we're being tangled up or touched by other trucks, so it's affecting. So there's definitely a lot more going on, in my opinion, in off-road racing than there is in asphalt.
There you get a good look at the number 11 of Rob McCachran. He was involved in an incident with Dan Vanden Heuvel yesterday. A great race on the very last lap. But look at this. The best drivers in the business are here, and they are putting it all on the line at Bark River.
Now, you see those different lines they were taking? 2 different strategies. You know, that's an indication of the changes made here at Bark River by the new crew here at Bark River. They wanted to get more passing lines. Scotty Taylor thought it was better to go wide. The veteran Rob McCachran took to the inside. They're still neck and neck. I don't know what was the best line, but at least we got some lines to choose from now.
Rob McCachran in the Rockstar Ford out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll tell you what, his tires are hooking up. You see him coming around there. He is getting plenty of bite at high speeds.
Hey, it's probably those new BFG. BF Goodrich came out with a new compound, a new tread pound.
McCachran lurks in 5th place right now. Dan Vanden Heuvel, number 77, right there, is your leader.
My favorite is in the moguls. The more rhythm, the more upset a truck can get, that's where I'll make my moves.
He won yesterday. Like I say, he's got the confidence going on, and hey, he's going to be a guy we got to keep our eye on.
Keeping our eye also on the man who sits in 2nd place right now. That is Todd LeDuc out of Cherry Valley, California. He is really applying the pressure now on Vanden Heuvel.
Hey, he's got that Ford coming in there. He's about to stick that F-150 right in the way.
And the word for the track is Dan Vanden Heuvel may be having some problems on that left rear tire. You know Todd LeDuc is keeping his eye on that because he is reeling in. But LeDuc's got issues also because Jeremy McGrath has found his mojo once again. And look at that. The left rear looks low there for Vanden Heuvel.
Hey, that may be why he's going so fast. You know, if you let too much air out of the tire, you really hook up good. You know, the rules here in the Traxxas Torque Series, you got to have at least 13 pounds of pressure in those tires. And if he went to the line with less than 13 pounds of air, he's going to get docked. He's going to get penalized by the USAC officials. But the point I'm making is right now, if he's lost some air, it may be causing him to hook up even better.
Vanden Heuvel continues to lead. And remember, the first man that crosses the line for the competition yellow picks up 2 points. Second place gets 1. Third place, pat on the back. So you win and you lead at the halfway point. You can pick up 27 points for the stop. And it looks like Vanden Heuvel's starting to yield some more space. Look at that, to the inside. Jeremy McGrath goes. And it looks like Todd LeDuc will get the 2 points. But did Jeremy McGrath get second, or did Vanden Heuvel hold on for that point?
Hey, I believe old Jeremy's playing possum on us. He was kind of laying back. You see that? We thought he was having all kinds of problems and stuff. We were talking about him, and all of a sudden, right after the competition caution, bam, here comes Jeremy McGrath.
Here's the competition caution, the last 2 turns. Look at Jeremy McGrath.
Man, that reminds me of his Supercross days, Todd.
He squared it off. Only thing he was missing was a knack-knack. There's LeDuc dating around Vanden Heuvel. And at the line, well, that's close, but it looks like Vanden Heuvel did just barely hold on. Let's check in right now with Leah Pruitt.
Down here, Dan Vanden Heuvel came in to replace his left rear Max's tire, but it looks like they're having a little bit of trouble jacking it up. Hopefully he'll make it back out to get back on the right lap.
All right, thank you, Leah. The second half of Pro 2 set to go. Here's how they stand coming in. Todd LeDuc in first, Dan Vanden Heuvel in second, Jeremy McGrath in third. And there you see the points leader, Ricky Johnson, sitting sixth. But Dan Vanden Heuvel had to make a change. He was not able to get that tire change quickly, so he is bombing his way around, and the green flag is out. So Vanden Heuvel basically goes to last. Todd LeDuc will lead them into the first corner with number 2, Jeremy McGrath, close behind.
Hey, look at Rob McCackern. Don't count Rob out. He's got a sour taste in his mouth from yesterday, so you know he wants this one bad.
Ricky Johnson, the points leader, number 48 there, sitting in 5th place right now. And the dust is just being kicked up. Up front, Todd LeDuc enjoying clean air. Jeremy McGrath also making it happen.
Hey, these restarts are really important because they get bunched back up again. And I noticed in all that mess inside there that Ricky Johnson got really slammed hard. We got to take a look and see if he got any damage from all that carnage.
The number 8 of Scott Taylor working his way through, currently sitting in 5th place here on the restart. So 4 laps to go here in Pro 2 Bark River International Raceway. This is the Traxxas Torque Series, stop number 4, round number 8. And look at McGrath, I think you might be right. He might have been playing some possums. We go back and look at the restart one more time. McGrath on the left side of your screen, Todd LeDuc in the center. And it looked like Jeremy was trying to set him up to go to the inside, but when Jeremy got to the inside, look who was sitting right there. Rob McCackern.
Man, that's just really good racing by some veteran Pro 2 drivers right there.
Still to go as we come around the corner one more time. There is the 3 of Todd LeDuc, looking very strong. Dan Vanden Heuvel trying to get back in the mix, but he had the tire issue during the competition caution.
Hey, Jeremy McGrath's out front for hopefully his first win of the season. If you're a Jeremy McGrath fan, he's got to be feeling comfortable out there, though, Ty, because he's done this many times in the Supercross.
McGrath made the pass on Todd LeDuc, who is sliding back now because McCackern has moved out. And Jeremy McGrath, as you said, he's got the 2 second-place finishes, but for one of the greatest Supercross motocrossers of all time, second place is the first-place loser.
All right, that's right, but here comes the big jump. These guys are jumping over 150 feet off of this jump. I talked to Jeremy McGrath. He says this jump scares him to death, man.
And if it scares Jeremy McGrath to death, it must be big. Look at the distance.
That scared me too. What do you think?
The monster Toyota clears it no problem as Jeremy McGrath out of Encinitas, California, has the truck hooking up, looking for win number 1 of the Traxxas Torque Series. But here comes Rob McCackern. Listen to those engines roar. Let's get torqued up. story, though, is maybe Ricky Johnson, the points leader, had his problems yesterday, and it seems like they fall him here into round number 8 because he's sitting in 5th place.
Knowing Ricky, he may have some type of an issue because he normally don't hold back. But he may be waiting for some carnage in front of him. He's going to come flying in there at the end, so don't count him out. In this torque racing, a lot of things happen on the last 2 laps. We've seen it over and over again. So Ricky may just be playing smart today.
Ricky had a 10-point lead coming in there, and there are the 2 men out in front. Jeremy McGrath, number 2, on board the Monster Toyota. Next to him, Rob McCackern on the Rockstar Ford out of Las Vegas, Nevada. They continue to battle, and I'll tell you what, Jeremy McGrath got a much better vantage point. He is not getting the roost, and he's not going through the dust.
I mean, this track looks like blue groove, like it's the term that's used in Supercross when the track gets really hard and rubber gets down in the dirt. It's called blue groove. That's the way it's looking out there in some of these turns. So it's going to have a huge impact on the tires, especially in the Pro 2s where they get a lot of rear wheel spin.
McGrath and McCackern out in front. The white flag is out. This is the final lap. Will this be the day that Jeremy McGrath gets his first victory in Pro 2? Rob McCackern to the inside.
This is about as good as it gets, man. You got 2 legends of the sport right here. Jeremy McGrath, a superstar. You got another superstar in Rob McCackern, and it looks like McCackern's made the pass.
Rob McCackern made the pass, but remember yesterday he made a similar pass on Dan Vanden Heuvel, and Vanden Heuvel got it back on the second to last turn. So McGrath is going to drive the wheels off this Toyota to try to get that victory.
Keep her steady, Jeremy. Keep her steady here. You need the points. You got a good run going. Don't go crazy here.
Both men very comfortable in the air as they come around one more time. McGrath on the gas to the inside, but it is hooking up for Rob McCackern. McCackern continues to lead. McGrath looking for a spot. The number 2 trying to get around the number 11.
I tell you, this is a good race, and I believe Rob's not going to make the same mistake he made yesterday. He's going to hang on here, but Jeremy riding a smart race. He could have panicked, man. He could have panicked.
Jeremy McGrath staying very cool inside there. You know, he races for Johnny Greaves, and Johnny said in preseason testing that McGrath convinced him he could win, so Johnny Greaves hired him. Smart move.
Very smart move. You know, Jeremy said it himself. He's kind of a rookie this season, and he's already finishing on the podium all the time.
And your winner, Rob McCackern. He last won here in 2001 in a Pro 4x4 truck. He does it today in the Pro 2s. Jeremy McGrath will have to settle for second. And Jeremy McGrath in the mix all day. Looked like he was going to get win number 1.
McGrath aggressive all day long. He was right here making an aggressive move. Tap Leduc, we're going to hear about that, I guarantee you.
And right there, Rob McCackern saw a window of opportunity just when it looked like Jeremy McGrath was going to be on the top step of the podium. Rob McCackern came in and spoiled the party.
Hey, sometimes it's a game of inches. His rear end popped out just a little, opened the door to the inside for a veteran Rob McCackern. He jumps in and he's letting it rip down the straightaway. Heartbreaking for Jeremy McGrath.
As we go to the final results in Pro 2, let's go down to Leah Pruitt, who's with our winner.
Rob, you were behind him so long, but was it your strategy to pass him up on that very last lap?
Well, no, it wasn't the strategy. We'd like to get to the front right away, but, Jeremy ran it super strong. I know he's going to win one of these races pretty quick.
Jeremy, you were so close to getting your monster ride to that victory lane. How frustrated are you?
Yeah, it's a bummer to lose it on the last lap. However, I did mess up the rhythm a little bit and gave Rob a chance to get beside me. Man, I drove the wheels off that Monster Energy Toyota. Rob's got a lot of experience, and I'm the new guy, so I learned a little bit there, but it was a great race.
Todd, this track seemed to be extremely dusty. How much of a factor was that for you?
Oh my gosh, man, I took it for granted at the start. I was second place, clean air. I passed Vanden Heuvel right there at the caution when I wanted to, and Jeremy did a bad move on me, man. He hit me real hard in the front end, almost sent me off the track. I collected myself, got going again. Wow, it was super dusty.
So after 8 rounds in the AMSOIL Pro 2-wheel drive division, it is Ricky Johnson holding on with a 1-point lead.
I'm here with Marty Hart, who is fresh off a victory sweep in Crandon. Marty, I'm interested in shocks. I don't know much about them. Can you tell me what is going on here?
Well, what you have on these particular trucks, this is it's called a primary spring, and this controls all your small bumps. You got your bigger spring, it's a larger diameter, and it's actually your secondary, which, one's for small bumps and one's for large bumps. And then this is your control shock right here. It controls the suspension as far as how fast it moves through its travel. And you got different sections by bypass tubes that you can adjust during the travel of the suspension. So you can slow the movement of the tires down, speed them up. The kick in the truck is all adjusted through this control shock right here. So this is your primary shock, and then your control shock.
I'm a huge fan of land rush starts.
Getting that hole shot is the most crucial thing ever in this race, and maybe second would be finishing.
Who is going to get the jump? It looks like maybe Scott Taylor has got it there. Let's see, the Skyjacker Ford comes around the corner first. Scott Taylor takes the hole shot.
Scott Taylor, the 53-year-old from Belvedere, Illinois, in his Ford F-150 with a beautiful start, but he's got company right away on the inside.
Oh,
who is it?
Look at what happened.
RJ Ricky Johnson takes it away.
There he is in the Red Bull X-Minus Ford. Ricky Johnson, I think he was listening to me. He is gone. Look at how fast RJ is moving.
So Ricky Johnson in the Red Bull out in front. Taylor will take second. McGrath currently sitting in fourth place and factor in number 10, and that is Greg Adler from Manhattan Beach, California.
One of the interesting things I saw there in that mad land rush, there was some smoke coming from one of the machines. When I looked again as they were coming down the straightaway, it may be the LeDuc machine. Let's take a look at the Rockstar machine, see if it's smoking.
Oh, it's smoking all right. The speeds are flying. The roost is up. And we are off and racing here in Crandon. There you see a good shot of the first four coming through. That was number 11, McCachran. He has been shuffled back now to 5th place.
Oh, this is a great start. They really are turning it on again. Two-wheel drive machines here, 900 horsepower, goes straight to those two back wheels. If you do not finesse that, you will be in trouble. You will be sending yourself around for a ride. We saw just a little puff of smoke there actually coming around the turn. I'm not sure if that isn't maybe the McGrath truck that has the problem.
Ricky Johnson continues to lead. Number 8. Scott Taylor factor in there, and there's a problem. Number 5 certainly having a problem. That is Evan Evans, son of the world-famous Walker Evans.
And Evan Evans' tragic story here. I mean, yesterday he was in 3rd place. He went off. Evan Evans uses hand controls. He's paralyzed from the waist down, but when he races, he can compete at this level, but he is having so much machinery trouble this weekend. That's a sad end for Evan Evans.
Bad luck besetting the young man who had that 1989 motorcycle accident. We'll see if we can find out what's going on with him. Meanwhile, another former motorcycle racer, Ricky Johnson, out in front, the 7-time AMA motocross and supercross champ. What can you say about that start? It looked like Scott Taylor had it wrapped up, and out of nowhere came the Red Bull.
That was just one of those things where you watch Taylor come around that corner. He had all the power in the world, but I think Ricky just found a hookup on the outside.
Well, he may have a sizable lead right now, but remember, the competition yellow comes into play halfway through. We'll bunch them back up again. They'll do somewhat of a parade, and then we release them. Kimberly, what is going on?
The number 5 car of Evan Evans was able to secure enough sponsorship money to race here this weekend, due in part to Racer Services out of San Diego. They're actually volunteering their time to be his entire crew. And in yesterday's race, Evans actually broke the ring and pinion, and today, as you can see, he's out again with some trouble. Looks like his bad luck continues.
Currently sitting in 3rd place, number 2, that is Jeremy McGrath, trying to track down the man. He told me earlier in the day, he said, I'm tired of getting beat by my childhood idol, that being Ricky Johnson. So Jeremy McGrath, number 2 in the Toyota Tundra monster truck, is trying to track down his childhood hero on 2 wheels. And while we have a moment, let's take a look at our monster driver profile. Jeremy McGrath with Kimberly Pressler.
One of the most decorated athletes in all of motorsports, Jeremy McGrath rewrote the book in both supercross and motocross. Now he tackles the dirt on 4 wheels in the Pro 2 category with the same intensity and expectations.
I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to drive these trucks through my success in supercross and motocross. However, when I'm here driving truck, I don't want to be known as the motocross guy. I want to be a truck racer. Driving the truck's a lot less physical. It's more mental. I get a little more nervous in the truck because I'm so new at it. I'm a rookie, really. You know, Rick's my hero. He's the guy I looked up to when I raced bikes, and he's been beating me. The first 2 rounds, he's got 3 wins, and I have 2 seconds to him, and both times he's had to pass me, and I'm getting tired of it. So I think it's time I step up and try and beat the hero.
McGrath sitting, now making the move up into second place. So we've got 2 great drivers up in front. Jeremy McGrath has 2 second-place finishes this season. He said, I'm done with the second-place finishes. I want to be on the top of the podium.
Well, I was with Jeremy last night. I was in the pits. It was about midnight, watching his crew work on that truck. There just about wasn't anything other than the frame that they didn't replace. They had to work on transmission, on the motor. He raced most of yesterday's race with a flat tire. Luckily, those tires he's running actually have these inner liners. It's kind of like a little bit of an extra tire inside the tire, so it allowed him to keep going in the race. But it was a tough race for him and a lot of challenge for Jeremy McGrath in yesterday's race, and more challenge for his mechanics last night.
Currently running in 6th place, we're getting word that the left rear may be flat on Rob McCachran. That's machine number 11, the Ford F-150 out of Las Vegas, Nevada. The 43-year-old, one of the most decorated off-road racers out there, having his issues.
Well, McCachran's also running those BF Goodrich tires with the inner liner. You can see the tire's actually running. Looks like it's flat.
Initially reports it was the left rear. It is the right rear tire for Rob McCachran, but those run flats, he should be good to go, hopefully at least until we get to the caution yellow halfway through.
Well, it's just incredible that he's still fighting there with Hook for, 6th place, and he's holding on. He isn't giving Ross Hook any space.
Looking for that competition yellow. We will bunch them back together, but as Tess Sewell pointed out, there are points to race to at the halfway point. 2 points, 1 point, it doesn't matter. We are very tight here in the AMSOIL Pro 2-wheel drive class. Your current leader, though, right now, number 48, Ricky Johnson, sits atop. Listen to those vehicles roar. Let's take a moment and get torqued up.
Ricky Johnson is moving at the front.
Ross Hook does make the pass eventually on McCachran, so that tire may be giving him more problems. But it is Ricky Johnson, your leader. Jeremy McGrath currently sitting in 3rd place, just 2 seconds back. And we've got a driver on the roof and no identifying marks right there other than the tires, Tess.
Well, that's not...
It's the 7 of Badeau. Dan Badeau from Headlock, Michigan, 53 years of age. His Ford F-150 in not an ideal position.
Well, Badeau yesterday had a problem. He actually got tied up in a little bit of a wreck with Mark Jenkins. He ended up riding the wall and somehow saved it that time, but unfortunately today, not so lucky.
It's the 2 Ford F-150s out in front, and Scott Taylor starting to close the gap.
Well, I don't know if Ricky was just trying to kind of back it off a little bit. He had problems with, his transmission temperature yesterday was running really high. They go so fast around this track here at Crandon, speeds of 100 miles an hour plus. And I think, look, Taylor got a little too keen, and it cost him the fiberglass on his hood there. So they will go slowly past Badeau. But I think just trying to be cautious is one of the things that Ricky has to think about.
And that wasn't the competition yellow, that was a local yellow. Taylor gets the worst end of that, but look at this. He's got a beautiful inside line.
Like Taylor can't even see, though. His hood is right up in front of where he is looking out of that nice screen. There are no windshields in these trucks. But maybe that's just kind of like a sight on a gun. It's like a target thing for him.
He certainly has Ricky Johnson in his sights trying to close the gap. That will certainly impair his vision right now, but it is just fiberglass, certainly repairable.
It's repairable, but it's going to hang out there, and I don't think there's anything he can do to get rid of it. He doesn't want to go into those hot pits and have it rip it up. He's just going to have to suffer it, and well, maybe if he gives a little more tag to Ricky Johnson here, he might manage to clear some more of the fiberglass.
At nearly 100 miles an hour as the competition yellow comes out, you'd think it would snap off or bend back, but it comes out. The Pro 2s were off the line and in a hurry. A great start for number 3 in Todd LeDuc.
A little bit of chaos here. Jeremy McGrath, who had a front flat, pushes Dan Vanden Heuvel out of the way.
And that sets off a chain reaction. Look at the action taking place behind number 25 as he comes through Mark Jenkins.
Mark Jenkins goes up on the wall, then Badeau goes up on the wall, but he manages to save it.
This is the great battle out in front. Rob McCachran, Todd LeDuc. Down to the line, and it would be Rob McCachran that gets the victory in Pro 2. What a great first half. Any surprises for you, Tess?
This was fantastic. We said Ricky Johnson was going to be really working it in this race because he was so upset about the third place yesterday, and he has not disappointed us. Scott Taylor, though, I mean, wow. He's fighting through that piece of fiberglass that's waving in his face, but my biggest concern right now, you see it there. There's definitely smoke coming from the number 3 Monster Machine of McGrath, who got tagged right there by Taylor.
Jeremy McGrath gets pinched as we get green flag racing once again, and McGrath does get shuffled back. He is stuck there just a little bit as the track is continually just roosting. Look at the roost coming off of these machines. Remember, these are vehicles that are $250,000 and upwards in cost.
We have over 800 horsepower in these trucks, so the acceleration's quick, the braking's quick, and the side-to-side motion is quite incredible.
Well, and what's amazing here is Ricky Johnson keeps taking the wide line into that very loamy, soft dirt every time he goes around that corner. So far, nobody else has figured that out because what it allows him to do is he comes out and then he is lined up to go straight on the next straightaway. Everyone else is taking an inside line. I think that's a big mistake.
And who really got pinched on the restart was the man who was sitting in second place, that being Scott Taylor. The beneficiary, Jeremy McGrath. So it's Johnson and McGrath, the 2 former AMA Supercross motocross stars, now taking their act to four-wheel drive, and they are showing their skills here to Crandon. Kimberly?
The first lap of race weekend was not a good one for Jeremy McGrath. He suffered a flat tire on the driver's front right side. He decided he didn't want to lose track position, so he decided to not go and pit. That ended up causing him to make a mistake, easily allowing Ricky Johnson to pass by him. When I spoke with Jeremy this morning, he said that is not going to happen again today. I plan on guarding my lines a lot better.
What's really great about Jeremy McGrath is he was talking about how he understands that he needs to pay some respect in this event, but what on earth happened to Jeremy McGrath? There goes LeDuc, and McGrath is now shuffled back and forth. Look at the smoke from the back of McGrath's machine. I think he is in trouble.
Jeremy McGrath was sitting in second place on the restart. He's been shuffled back now to fourth place. It is Todd LeDuc now who is coming to play. Number 3 from Cherry Valley, California.
I'd be looking at that monster number 2, wondering if he's just got a tire rub, maybe a brake problem, but remember, they changed everything on that machine last night, and who knows what could have gone wrong. Like we said, this 1.5-mile very fast Crandon course is so hard on this machinery.
TORC racing continues. And there you see number 77, that's Dan Vanden Heuvel coming into play.
We're not exactly sure what's happening with Dan's truck either, except for the fact that there's not an awful lot of that fiberglass body left on the right side.
Dan Vanden Heuvel, the Flying Dutchman. You see the smoke and the roost. He is dealing with it from both ends.
Well, obviously has an overheating problem. And what you have to think about is, not only are the engines under some kind of strain here, but when you're a driver on this track, especially as loose as Crandon is this weekend, those back tires spin up so many rocks, they come firing right at your cage, and it's a terrifying place to be when you're behind anyone.
Crandon has some of the finest dirt, but it is loaded with the hard stuff, as Vanden Heuvel is finding out right now. His truck is absolutely taking a beating. A man who is staying clean and out in front, Ricky Johnson, your leader. Taylor sits in second place.
Just look at how pristine that Red Bull truck is right now. It doesn't even look like he's in an off-road race because he's been out front since the start. He's stayed out front. That is the smartest place to be. Meanwhile, behind him, Scott Taylor is working for his life in that Skyjacker Ford. There is fiberglass coming up right in his face. He's got dirt coming in through that mesh, hitting him in the face of the helmet. They have those tear-offs. You can see these visors that go in front of the helmet, and they tear off a plastic piece to clean in the dirt, but they just keep getting filled again and again every lap.
Report from the track is the number 2 of Jeremy McGrath and Vanden Heuvel still having issues overheating. So overheating a problem, but you know, we knew that coming in, Tess. The temperature is comfortable for spectators, but at such high speeds, these engines are working overtime.
And a lot of the guys came out of yesterday trying to figure out, should they run different gearing? Is there something they should do to try and give those trucks more speed, more forward fight? But there's a cost to doing some of that, and the cost often is the engine temps get too high and the machinery just can't take it. So even if you're trying to drive smart, you've got to drive fast, and that obviously has cost Dan Vanden Heuvel and Jeremy McGrath today.
The 14-time AMSOIL Pro 2-wheel drive champion, Scott Taylor, trying to find a way around the cleanest truck on the track, and it's Ricky Johnson. He may have found the line.
Well, he went for a really fast inside line, but Ricky can hold the inside here, so I don't know if he's going to get the advantage. Wow, yeah, Taylor looks like he might get around.
That long course expert. Has he found a way to solve Ricky Johnson today? Because it has been all Johnson, and with just 2 laps to go, Scott Taylor may have picked the perfect time to make that pass.
And what's interesting is he then went for the outside line there that Ricky Johnson has taken every other lap. He blocked RJ, so Ricky couldn't go out there. This may be the opportunity now for Scott Taylor to start driving away and show Ricky Johnson some of his roost.
The white flag comes out on the AMSOIL Pro 2-wheel drive class, and it is Taylor who is throwing up the roost. He has raced at Crandon for over 30-plus years, and right now, I hate to say it, but he is showing RJ a little bit of a lesson.
It looks amazing. There are pieces hanging off that Skyjacker Ford. Folks, in this kind of racing, they do not stop for debris in the track. Ricky Johnson is now under threat from Todd LeDuc, the number 3 Rockstar machine.
Number 48, Ricky Johnson. He has been the leader through 9 laps. He has yielded that lead. Does he have problems? Todd LeDuc sees it, and he goes to the inside and shuts the door. So Ricky Johnson shuffled back from 1st to 3rd in 1 lap.
Oh, something is going on with the 48. He was very slow there. He kind of punched outside. We'll have to try and take a look through the dust here to see if he's got a problem. But the story here, Scott Taylor is driving away from 2nd and 3rd. I think Scott Taylor is going to take this one comfortably, and look at that
left rear of Ricky Johnson. He is too good of a driver to let that happen in 1 lap, and he has got a left tire issue in a big-time way. Scott Taylor, though, you are right, Tess Sewell. He is absolutely checking out here at Crandon's Big House, and that has opened the door for him to get on top of the podium. Now, speaking of podiums, Ricky Johnson's in risk of not even being on the podium, but he has driven that tire tread off.
Ricky was fighting so hard to keep Dan Vanden Heuvel behind him in that number 77 red machine, but I don't know if he was able to do it. I think Vanden Heuvel will probably get 3rd. LeDuc 2nd. Who's it going to be? Oh, Ricky off the podium.
Vanden Heuvel grabs 3rd, but the big win of the day, Scott Taylor, with 1.5 laps to go, makes a pass on RJ and that beautiful Red Bull machine, which still looks very clean. The only problem, that left rear tire is all but gone.
Well, there's just no way that Ricky could hold off a charge from somebody as good as Scott Taylor. And look at that thing, it's just shredded.
He got every inch out of those coom hose. Unfortunately, it just came at the wrong time. Scott Taylor picks up the victory.
All right, here's the man of the hour. How in the world did you do this? Look at this truck. How did you manage to pass Ricky with all of this damage?
Well, what happened is on the back straightaway going into the start turn, there was a yellow, and Ricky really rode quick for it like we're supposed to when I was on him. I didn't see yellows. The guys hollered yellows. I seen the back of his truck come up. I hit the brakes and tapped him, but man, what a great day for the Fords. We have Goodrich, and you know, we all worked really hard to get to this spot.
What a great performance by Todd LeDuc. You find yourself in 2nd place. How was the vision out there for you? It looked pretty dusty.
Oh my gosh, today was the opposite, man. I'm like all psyched up in my head. I'm gonna pull the whole shot again today. And I put it in 2nd gear. The guy slid the border across, he threw the green, dude, and the truck bobbled. So I came out in 5th. I actually had to work today. Wow, I felt like I was in a desert race. I couldn't see half of the track, half the time, and I saw RJ get a flat, and we went down the backstretch, and I'm like, I'm gonna mess with his head. I bumped him from behind, got him a little flustered. I outbraked him down in the back turn and got around him for 2nd, and here we are.
You're taking 3rd place. You look very excited. Tell us your thoughts.
Anytime you can come to the Big House here at Crandon and be on the podium is a great day.
So as we take a look at the points in the AMSOIL Pro 2-wheel drive class, it is Ricky Johnson still on top, Todd LeDuc closing in, then it's Rob McCachran. Scott Taylor, he picked up the Oakley Bomb Run Award today. Your thoughts, Tess?
Disappointment for Jeremy McGrath there with the tire problem, but look at how close those points are between second and fourth. This is going to be a fight all the way through the season.
And our next stop on the Traxxas TORC Racing Series, Bark River, Michigan. You'll see that on ESPN2, July 19th at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And the great Tess Sewell, I am Todd Harris saying so long from Crandon and Wisconsin's Big House. We'll see you next time for more Traxxas TORC Racing.
And Dan beats Roushay's engine Scotty Taylor to the first corner. That's what I'm talking about.
Dutchman who takes him in and gets the whole shot. Look at the number 2. That's Jeremy McGrath sliding in. McGrath in the Monster Energy Toyota.
And look at this battle right here. Big horsepower. Wait till you see the roost that come out from behind these tires. These guys get hurt when they get hit by rocks. As we look at Ricky Johnson right here, look at the size of the stuff that hits these guys in the face.
On board Ricky Johnson's Red Bull Ford Kuho tire. Ricky Johnson, we talked about at the top of the show. He was hot to start the season off. As of late, not so much.
Not so much, and you saw Dan Vandal, who will make a big mistake and give the lead up to the number 3, the Rockstar Energy Ford truck of Todd LeDuc of the LeDuc Racing clan. But Dan not giving it up.
But look at the roost he's receiving. We talk about just how much the 2s kick up.
Yeah, and right now I'm looking at the rear suspension package on versus Todd versus Dan Vandenheuvel. You see Todd's truck really down in the back when we go back to their shot in a second here. And Dan's is jacked up a little bit more. I think they have a different approach to Bark River's conditions today. God, I love watching them fly off that. Watch right here. Look at the rear end, Todd. Look at how far down Todd's rear end is when they come through this corner versus Dan's. Got a lot more body roll in that 3 Ford right there. Just 2 different approaches.
And is that just to get more bite?
It's different bite. It's what the tire wants. It's what the crew chief wants. It's a whole different package. You see Dan Vandenheuvel going the long way around. We're talking about the privateers, Todd. Look at Dan, the hard way around that place. I love it.
Getting it done as Todd LeDuc slides into second place, quite literally, the number 3 Rockstar Ford. He'll be back, though. Meanwhile, Ricky Johnson, RJ moving up, currently sitting in 4th place.
And he's got pressure on him from Rob McCachran right there. You see, look at the size of the roost these guys kick up, and Rob being really careful not to get right behind him.
Well, when you factor in the inverted start, Ricky started on the 3rd row. He's in a good spot here in 4th right now.
Yeah, him and Rob right now battling. They had to make their way through the pack. You see Scotty Taylor right in front of him there. These are some, once again, TORC Racing has the best of the best here. Jeremy McGrath, Rob McCachran, Ricky Johnson. These are names that are big in every sport. See that cage right there? Great story, Todd. That cage, we used to put chicken wire in front of us, and the rocks would come right through it. Scotty Taylor broke his arm behind me one day in the 90s, and my crew chief, Randy Anderson, they went to a Home Depot, found an old spray paint cage, where they keep spray paint cans. Look at the size of the rocks. And they went and just, it was out in the trash. They said, hey, we want to buy that. And they welded it up in front of me, and that's where we started with the big cages in front of us.
A little different now that you're racing on the Nationwide Series?
Yeah, I got a windshield now and nothing flying at me like this.
Well, Jeremy McGrath currently running in 6th place. He almost got his victory, first victory of the year last time here. Can he get it done here at Bark River in the 2nd go-around here on the TORC Series? Snowplow International Off-Road Raceway in Bark River, Michigan. Todd Harris along with Brendan Gaughan and Kristen Garrett. Well, Ricky Johnson, he is in the middle of it today in Pro 2, but after our last visit to Bark River, he told me, I've now got this place figured out.
Last time I was here, I didn't have the right balance. I was tippy-toeing where I probably shouldn't have been, and I was hanging it out where I shouldn't have been. I feel I'm better balanced with the truck, with the tires, and also I just feel like I gained a little bit as a driver.
You know, we talked about him being cold, but he did win round 9, and it was the first time since 1998 he'd won. Guess who else was in that race? And I had him beat. My throttle spring came off. It was awful. Yeah.
Jeremy McGrath also in a hunt to get his first victory here on the series.
The last race here was disappointing. The way I see it, I had it won. I made the mistake on my own and let Rob get up under me. And last half a lap is kind of heartbreaking, but we're charged. We're ready to go. Truck's running good, and hopefully we can get a first win this weekend.
McGrath has a couple great second-place finishes, really coming a long way.
Not getting it done for Jeremy McGrath, who he has high standards. If we go back to yesterday, this was the action. The track, absolutely perfect, Brendan.
Yeah, last night, the Lions Club guys at Park Rim did a great job cleaning the place up. There's Dan Van Hoel, privateer. Look at that. Robbie McCackern getting landed on by Ricky Johnson, our 2 points leaders. Great battles right there. You see Ricky again going with Todd LeDuc, but look who's in the lead. Jeremy McGrath been doing a great job this year.
The 2 Supercross stars out in front. It looked like it might be Jeremy McGrath's day to get his first victory, but Ricky Johnson said, not on my watch.
No, it was a great job by Ricky Johnson. Look at him right there, sliding in front of Todd LeDuc. Now setting his sights once again on Jeremy. Slide job, Jeremy. Look at the blue groove right there. Ricky Johnson experienced knew to stay out of that blue groove, got the bite. Great job by Ricky to get off the schneid.
Ricky gets the victory for Jeremy McGrath. He does get the Oakley Bomb Award, but not his first victory. He is still hungry for it. Meanwhile, RJ is hard on it today.
Ricky Johnson's always hard on it. He's got a great ride. He's got Kumho tires, and he's got this truck working great. 8 top 5 finishes in 9 races up to this point. You can't ask for any better.
Meanwhile, out in front, Dan Vanden Heuvel continues to lead as we work our way back to the pack. There's the number 8 of Scotty Taylor.
And I'm really surprised. Scotty Taylor is 5th in points. He's had a string of like 5 consecutive 2-wheel drive championships. He's the perennial veteran and champion in this series. The Skyjacker Ford is not running like he wants right now.
Look at Todd LeDuc. He is all over Dan Vanden Heuvel, trying to find a way in.
And Dan, the tire groove he has with his Maxxis tire right now, he likes that soft dirt. You see him pull away in some spots. Then you see Todd LeDuc with his Toyo tire make some ground in this tighter section. So 2 different tire grooves, like you said, 2 different suspension packages. They both work better in different places.
But for Todd LeDuc, the time is now.
What's at stake is having that ever-dreading DNF or that double-digit finish. You know, I can't afford to get a 10th, you know, or worse. You know, I really need that win, man. You know, I'm getting to that point. You know, we're coming off a high, you know, from racing another series and winning back-to-back and coming here. You know, I'd love to do the same thing.
Todd LeDuc has raced just about everything.
As a matter of fact, him and his brother Kyle, great mountain bike racers. And Todd, you still owe me a mountain bike. Years ago, you and your brother promised you'd give me one of your hand-me-downs. I'm still waiting for you.
That's Todd LeDuc who knows the mountain bike. And Jeremy McGrath has got all kinds of problems. Not only does he get the roost, but look at the cage.
I can't believe that thing just broke off like that. First of all, it's dangerous. Look at how sharp that edge is. But we were talking about the spray paint cage earlier. How do they not have that thing bolted in there better? Jeremy is in a tough spot here. He's trying to race, rip it out.
He's in a wrestling match with the cage.
Jeremy, what a great job of keeping focus. I mean, he's in the middle of the race right now, Todd. Look at this.
I can't believe what he just pulled off. Not only did he get a tear off, he shifted, he continued to drive, he got the cage away. I've seen women on the 405 not being able to drink a cup of coffee.
Look at this, here we go. We're talking about how much, look at how his visors get packed with mud. That's the force these things are getting hit with. He rips a tear off, now he's got the screen in his face.
He's shifting.
I'm very surprised right there. You know, that's a Johnny Greaves, Kurt Greaves prepared truck. That thing should have been in there a whole lot better than it looked like just zip ties. That surprises me. I normally expect better out of those guys.
Absolutely an amazing performance by Jeremy McGrath. The race within the race. As we get a look at Mike Oberg, he is another one of our privateers who's getting it done here in the Pro 2 class.
He's definitely getting it done, coming with a different setup this week. You're looking at the Jenkins brothers. Here we got Mark Jenkins in his 2-wheel drive. Those guys own Traxxas. You talk about guys putting their money where their mouth is.
Oh, yeah.
Sponsor the series. Hey, let's go play with the big boys, too.
They love racing the RC cars. They said, why not step it up a size or two?
I love it. That's awesome to see right there when you got the guys that run the company showing up where to go. And then we got, of course, our privateer, Ross Hook, having a decent season this year. He won last year finally. He's the 2008 current Crandon International World Champion, so big title for him.
Once again, Jeremy McGrath getting it done at 85 to 95 miles an hour here in Bark River.
And look at him wrestling with that thing. Like you said, he's ripping it off, trying to get it. He's racing. Pause for a second. Got his hand down, pulling it out. I think he's got right now, he's got Oberg right on this inside corner, trying to battle with him, and he finds a nice place to slide that thing.
Well done, Jeremy McGrath. Meanwhile, back to racing action. Dan Vanden Heuvel, number 77 out in front. Todd LeDuc, number 3 right now in the Rockstar Makita Ford, trying to track him down and make the pass.
And I mean, talk about the battle right here. You see Ricky Johnson sneaking up into the picture, though. Going to start applying pressure. Now Todd can't just focus on Dan. He's going to have to focus on protecting that line a little bit. And Van den Heuvel just trying to run away and hide.
The Flying Dutchman is your current leader as we come up on the competition yellow. And that's what will bunch everyone back up together. And as a nationwide driver, I know when you're leading, you don't want to see it.
Right now, this is where you say, why do it? Look at the battle we got already. 1, 2, 3. But you're going to throw that competition caution. We just saw a clip of Robbie McCackern back there. It's going to put him in this battle. It's going to make it even bigger.
Rob McCackern, the Rockstar Ford BFG tire, he will go from 4th, and he will slide right back up to the 3 leaders. But it is Dan Van den Heuvel. Remember, 2 points to the man who leads at the halfway point, 1 point for second place, and I guarantee Ricky Johnson's trying to get himself an extra point.
Him and McCackern right now, real tight points battle. Robbie sitting 4th, no chance at it. He definitely wants to gain 1 more point on Robbie, and right now he's got a chance. It just, oh, there's a mistake by Dan. Way wide. Can Todd capitalize? No, it's going to be close.
Todd LeDuc trying to get enough bite to make the pass, and he won't get it done. Dan Van den Heuvel will make 1 more left-hand turn. The yellow flag will come out, and Van den Heuvel will pick up 2 points. Todd LeDuc will get 1. Ricky Johnson gets none, but he is sitting in 3rd place. But let's go back 1 more time and have a look at Jeremy McGrath. Man versus machine versus Mother Nature versus the cage. International Off-Road Raceway in Bark River, Michigan. Todd Harris along with Brendan Gaughan. Kristen Garrett also on hand as we are set for the second half, Pro 2.
Up in the UP of Michigan. Get yourself a passy while you're up here as we're on Jeremy McGrath. No more cage. He's taking all the brunt of it right to that face shield.
Into the corner, and Ricky Johnson right off the bat is pushing the issue. He gets in the back end of Todd LeDuc.
I don't know, Ricky looked like he got in the back of him and then
look at that.
Oh, God, get crushed. Look at Ricky beating and banging back up there. Rob McCackern, though, snuck through them all. Pushing, spins. We got Jenkins around. We got people sliding everywhere. Privateer Ross Hook makes it on through with half a door still hanging. And look at the battle back up front again, though. Dan Van den Heuvel and Todd LeDuc right where they left off.
That is the beauty of competition yellow. Here it is again, the restart.
Ooh. Look at that. Ricky getting a little aggressive.
Scotty Taylor got crunched, didn't he?
Oh, looks like Oberg and Jenkins boys got spun around, and everybody's got logjam back there.
On board with Jeremy McGrath. He went high.
He went way to the outside of the berm. Got pushed up there by Taylor, got pushed up there by Ricky. There's nothing wrong there, Todd. There is no bad racing there. That's just hard TORC Series racing. And up front still, look at the battle.
What a great race. Dan Van den Heuvel, number 77. Number 3 is Todd LeDuc.
And Rob McCackern snuck up there. Look at him in 3rd. I'm telling you, Rob McCackern, you guys understand, he is one of my heroes in racing. He drove for Walker Evans when I was a kid. He used to ride in the passenger seat with me when I was 16 years old. I don't think he was really bright, but he used to.
Well, Rob McCackern has been playing catch-up recently, but as of late, he has definitely had it hooked up here at TORC.
We kind of got off to a slow start. We just had a little bit of a hard time catching our stride. And once we gelled together, now we're on a roll. Our last 2 races are 2nd and a 1st, and we want to continue on having that good success. But Ricky's came right out of the box running strong, and we knew it would just take a little bit of time, and he'd have problems.
Robbie, I always joke and call him Robbie McChicken. Ain't no chicken about him. Rob McCackern, honest to God, I love Robbie. He is one of the best race car drivers in the world. You don't understand. This man can drive an off-road buggy and a trophy truck in the same desert race and win both of them. The guy is the most talented driver in the world right now, putting the heat on. But he got hooked up with Todd. They hook up bumpers. Look who takes the advantage. Ricky Johnson on the outside.
Ricky Johnson now into 3rd place. Dan Van den Heuvel is out in front, but it looks like it's going to be Ricky Johnson and Todd LeDuc. We're going to try to track down the Flying Dutchman, your leader.
LeDuc loves seeing that, let them battle, pull away. New tire groove for Ricky, it says right there. We want to see how that works, those Kumho tires. Right now, the Maxxis tire of Dan looking pretty good.
As they go by Lake Mignani, it is once again Van den Heuvel, LeDuc, and Ricky Johnson sitting in 3rd place. Johnson coming off of that big win yesterday here, so he has got the momentum shifted back into his corner as the big Pro 2s come flying by. What a beautiful picture, and the sound, those throaty V8s are putting it out here at Bark River. Your leader, Van den Heuvel, then LeDuc, then Johnson. Brendan, you now race in the Nationwide Series, but you've raced off-road. This is as good as it gets.
Right now, you got, look at the battle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw a blanket over him. You got Dan Van den Heuvel, Privateer. Todd LeDuc sponsored. Ricky Johnson sponsored. Rob McCackern sponsored. You can't get any better than this. And look where everybody, they're all trying to find their way around, all looking for that good line. But there's Jeremy sitting in that dry slick. I don't like seeing that. He needs to be looking for better dirt.
Well, Jeremy McGrath, the Supercross superstar, making his way here in TORC and learning quickly.
My biggest downfall at this point is not having enough seat time. I'm still sort of the new guy, and having to learn these tracks for the first time is a bit difficult. Now that we're here a second time, I'm more familiar with it, at least. And being able to drive the truck at 100% has been the hardest part for me, because I still don't know the limits exactly, and just from not having enough driving time.
Exactly what he's talking about. It's all about driving time. And every motorcycle guy I've ever known becomes great race car drivers. Jeremy, he could look at a motocross track, tell you what groove to take. Right now you can see he hasn't quite picked which line to move into or not, but he just said it. He's only been to this track once before. He doesn't have all the experience here. Dan Vandenhoevel gets passed for the lead.
The jump pass by Todd LeDuc, and is Ricky Johnson going to try to make it 2 for 1?
Looks like it right now. Dan Vandenhoevel going to hang it out on the inside. Not the line he likes, but here he goes. Him and Ricky side by side to the cemetery corner.
The nose of Vandenhoevel drops way down, and that allows Ricky Johnson, the 48, to hook up quicker. So Ricky Johnson moves from third to second, and Vandenhoevel still checking out the real estate here in Bark River.
Dan going all over the place, and look at right now. We got Jeremy in the Monster Toyota catching back up. Oh, it's Taylor. Got a big right rear, left rear flat going.
Now he can continue to run on this.
Yes, absolutely. There's an inner liner tire. It is a tire inside that tire. It's not grooved, it's slick, but it will allow him to continue. Wow, Vandenhoevel, he's got to have a power steering problem or something. He's all over the place, and McGrath going to set his sights on him now.
Jeremy McGrath currently sitting in 4th place. McGrath riding the Monster Energy Toyota BFG ride. Dan Vandenhoevel, the privateer number 77, having issues out there right now.
Not the way to go for Jeremy. He's got to find that dirt. I'll tell you what, though, McGrath is going to be fast. He's got the Greaves brothers doing his truck. He's got the big sponsorship with Monster Energy. He's got Toyota help, but he will get this down. And when he does, watch out, because you know that man is fearless. You've seen the stuff he's done on a bike.
Unbelievable. And if he gets the cage thing figured out, even better.
Even better, yeah, if they can keep that in front of him. Right now, that could be playing a little bit of it. He may not have that clear view, but we got a battle for the lead here. Todd LeDuc, remember what he said in his interview, Todd? He wants to win, flat out.
Todd LeDuc and the Rockstar Makita Ford out in front. Sitting behind him, the points leader, the Red Bull Ford Kumho tire sponsor, Ricky Johnson. So it's 1 and 2. And you know Ricky Johnson with the white flag out is going to apply all the pressure he can.
Oh, and these guys right now, it's a tire battle. We talked about Ricky Johnson had a new tire groove on his Kumho tires. You got Todd LeDuc with his Toyos. This is when, did you set it up for early when the track's tacky? You set it up for late when the track's drier. Look at that dry slick right there. Both race cars flying over the big jump.
Well, Todd LeDuc said it, you're right. The time is now for him to get a victory, and he is in a prime position. Remember, Ricky Johnson coming off of that first place finish yesterday. A sweep on the weekend would put a smile on his face.
Absolutely. He was pretty cold coming into Bark River weekend. Trying to get off that now. Looks like he's doing, oh no! Giving Todd breathing room. Oh, mistake by Ricky Johnson.
RJ puts a whole new meaning into off-road right here. What happened?
I mean, it just looks like he probably got those Kumho tires on that dry slick. He's been so good out in that soft, good traction dirt. Over-rotated, gave Todd LeDuc a big batch of breathing room coming into the last 2 corners.
It doesn't look like much, but in this business, that is all Todd LeDuc's going to need.
That's it right there. You make that mistake, Todd LeDuc looking for his first career TORC victory.
And he is going to get it as he comes around this last corner. Your winner in Pro 2, Todd LeDuc gets it done. Ricky Johnson will have to grab second. All hats off, though, to Rob McCackern, who'll take third. And Jeremy McGrath, despite the cage and the frustration, McGrath finishes 4th.
Great job. Had the Oakley Bomb Award yesterday, today a 4th place. Great job by him. But Ricky Johnson, just a mistake. He got in there, over-rotated through that corner, had to get back on the racetrack, didn't want to give up that spot to Rob McCackern. Got to be aware of that.
Great racing action in Pro 2, and Jeremy McGrath and Scott Taylor, they fought the elements, they fought their cars, and for Scott Taylor, he nurses his car across the line despite going flat. Great performance by him.
And a great job by those tires to hold up like that.
Right now, let's send it down to Kristen Garrett, who is standing by with a very happy Todd LeDuc.
Todd LeDuc, you started off in 4th and made your way to the front. You had Ricky Johnson breathing down your neck. What was your strategy out there?
Run like heck. Let me tell you, I got lucky on the start. It was like the seas parted for me. I shot to the front, and you know, I talked to Rockstar yesterday, and they're like, "You guys better win this race." And dude, we did it. And Kyle won yesterday. RJ was coming, I knew it, but my truck was on game today. I just had to hit my lines, be real nice to that throttle, and get it to the finish.
And for Ricky Johnson, Brendan, I'm telling you, one mistake may have cost him a sweep on the weekend, but he will be back. More importantly, he picks up big points. He's standing by with Kristen.
Ricky Johnson, you made it through the pack. What a race out there.
Well, you know, it was tough. You know, I have to give my hats off to the Bark River Lions Club. They did an awesome job on the track. Believe it or not, this was a quagmire yesterday, and they did such a great job, you know, getting ready to race. But I got to tell you, man, Kumho Tires, Red Bull, they put a great truck underneath me. The crew put it there, and I raced hard all day long, man. I went to the front, to the back, to the front, to the back, and I didn't even look at the gauge. I didn't care. I was just trying to win. But hats off to Todd LeDuc. He drove a great race, you know. And second sucks.
Rob McCachran maybe took the biggest hit. He still sits in third place. Let's hear his thoughts.
What is it going to take to chase down Ricky Johnson out there?
Well, Ricky's been real strong. You know, he's got it hooked up this year so far. You know, we got really close to him in the points, and now we're falling back a little bit. But we're just going to get down deep, digging, and go test him with BF Goodrich tires and Fox shocks, and we'll come back. We'll get him.
Back at the starting line, you can see that the Pro 2, the AMSOIL Pro 2s are on station, ready to go racing here on the 1.5-mile layout of Crandon International Raceway. Yesterday's action saw Todd LeDuc take the points lead by winning his second race in a row. And we are getting ready to go green. We've got two on boards with you, Rob McCachran in his number 11 and Jeremy McGrath in the Traxxas on board as the green flag flies, and we are green at Crandon.
Oh, here they go down this start stretch, going to scream into this corner number 1 again. The question is, can that blue truck there get the whole shot again? Scott Taylor, look at the mess coming into this turn, and Taylor gets it again.
The number 8 of Scott Taylor on the outside is McCachran. He's right behind him in second as they fly over the jump in front of this huge crowd.
Wow, that's such an unbelievable shot too, Marty, because you get that crowd of trucks, so many trucks, 20 of them funneling into this course, trying to sort things out right at the start of this Pro 2 race.
This is our single largest field. Two-wheel drive, heavy-duty pickups, 900 horsepower. And the problem is, as we go on board with Rob McCachran, is how do you get all that power down to the ground?
Well, and this class actually has two-wheel drive, not the four-wheel drive that the Pro 4s have. The same amount of horsepower, though, 900 horsepower in these trucks delivered to the back wheels. And look at the problem McCachran had there. That's going to cost him. Taylor, look how clean he is out in front.
That was Robbie Gordon getting around the outside and picking up the spot. It looked like Ricky Johnson picked up third as well.
This is trouble for these guys. Robbie Gordon is fast in any sport. You know, he's going to be racing NASCAR after he races this. So an unbelievable ride for Robbie Gordon. He is coming out here to win. That is the only reason he's in Crandon this weekend.
Scott Taylor, as you can see, 35 years he's been running this sport, and the old wily veteran has got it. Oh, no. Look at Jeremy McGrath.
That's a real shame for Jeremy. Let's see what happened to break that front end there.
Well, it's already happened at that point. So I'm wondering if coming over the Traxxas launch zone that maybe the suspension just gave up on him.
Yeah, we saw a lot of unforced errors that happened yesterday where guys ran up into the wall, and that may have happened to Jeremy.
Back to the action out on track. That is Scott Taylor in front of Robbie Gordon. Third is Ricky Johnson, and there is your fourth place truck of Rob McCachran. Boy, Taylor just thumping everybody right now.
You know, and Taylor had those troubles yesterday, and that cost him the race because he looked so clean when he started out. But again, he's pulling away from the field. Robbie Gordon is trying to chop away at that lead. There is Robbie Gordon in that Polaris machine. But Ricky Johnson, he wants to get that points lead back here today.
He trails by 2 to Todd LeDuc. And for Ricky Johnson, it's been quite a transformation from motorcycle superstardom to TORC off-road racing. Here's our AMSOIL driver profile.
Passion for racing started with my father. He raced go-karts. I think he was one of those guys that had so much talent, but you know, raising a family, had his own painting business. he never really got to do what he wanted to do. And he, vicariously lived through me, got me on a motorcycle at a very young age. It's something that I identified with, and I loved racing. And my goal was to be the best ever motocross racer. But I had a good stint at it, but it got cut short. I love doing schools, I love training people on motorcycles, but I wanted to do more. So in doing that, I went from driver to training people how to ride to now I'm one of the owners in the series and driving, so I got a lot of balls in the air. Without a doubt, truck racing for a motocross guy is the fountain of youth. When I'm out there driving, I know that in my mind that I'm a better racer today than when I was 25 on a motocross bike. But my body, my wrist, my knees, I can't run anymore. I can't do the things that I could do when I was 25. But in my mind, I've built my craft much better. That means the world to me that I can be here with my family. Luke, all he ever did when he was a little kid is pick up a helmet. He proved that he has the passion. My family can come watch the race, they could be at the race, and I can also support him as well. So this creates a very strong family bond, and it's given me a chance to pass on to him really the only thing I know.
And family is very important to him. As we come back, we have got mayhem down at the far end of the race course. This is the final turn right before you come down the pit straightaway. And you can see everybody trying to tiptoe. Mike Oberg is upside down right at that entrance to that 180-degree corner.
It's going to be interesting to see once they right Oberg's truck if he can actually drive that thing away. And unbelievable things happen here in TORC racing. These trucks, they are incredibly tough, and you flip them, they just get right back up and keep going. We saw a lot of that in the series so far, and even yesterday. But meanwhile, Taylor, look at this. That number 8 is just driving away. Still, though, Robbie Gordon is behind him in second, but Ricky Johnson is really working hard on the back of that 007 of Gordon.
Let's get an update from Tiffany Simons on Robbie.
I spoke with Robbie this morning. He arrived here last night at 11. He tested at Crandon 2 weeks ago, and they did really well. However, this weekend, he has not had that advantage. He told me about the crash that he had on Tuesday. His eye is fine. He can see. However, it's his neck. He has to be careful about looking left, looking up. That's where he could possibly feel the pain of that. And he said, look, I'm not a cautious guy, but I have to think big picture. And tonight, that's what's really important for me.
And the crash Tiffany's referring to was earlier this week. He was testing his Hummer desert vehicle in Arizona, and it went back over, almost like a blowover. And he ended up with some very sore shoulders, the neck, as she described, and he has a really wicked-looking black eye. That's why he had the sunglasses on for the shot that you saw, the picture of him. But so far, running strong in second place, but he is 6 seconds behind. Take a look at Evan Evans as he makes his way around. Let's take you back and show you what happened to Jeremy McGrath and why he is out of this race. We're on board. And that is Evan Evans, and he had contact with him.
Look at that. That's a lot of contact. You can see the back end of Evans' truck going up there, the fiberglass flying. That's a bad end for McGrath.
Tough break for Jeremy. He has still yet to win in the TORC series this year, and for a guy who is so used to winning on 2 wheels, he wants it badly in 4, but it's going to have to wait to our next round in Paris, California. There is the damage from Evan Evans' truck, and there is your race leader, Scott Taylor, by 6.6 seconds over Robbie Gordon. Ricky Johnson in third, another second behind. Ricky's trying to close the gap. McCachran, he's another 4 seconds back, and right now we are getting ready to come up on the white flag lap here at Crandon in the Inaugural Pro 2 division.
What you could see there, Marty, was the fact that Ricky is trying so hard to get past Taylor, and this is a very, very tough track to pass. It's incredibly fast. It gets worn into that one line, and look again. Ricky is now pulled up on the back of the number 8 of Taylor. He's going to try and find the open door, the secret spot that gets him through. He has 1 lap of this Crandon track to do it.
You're looking at Evan Evans. That's Todd LeDuc right in front of him there in the 3 truck, but this is the biggest battle on the track. And you can see it is oh so close. They're heading out of the Argonne corner.
This is where it's going to start to get really fierce. Ricky is going to try and find a way, and I suspect we might see a little bit of contact as they come into one of these late corners, as Ricky's going to try and muscle his way past Taylor. Great race, though, for Taylor, who had that tragedy yesterday with his truck breaking down.
35 years he's been racing off-road. Knows every inch of this Crandon track. And he's hanging on for dear life as Ricky Johnson, a former champion in off-road racing, is closing and trying to take the position. Oh, but he lost a little ground there.
I think maybe he was trying the outside to inside swing there to try and get that blue groove. See him coming through the inside, but he doesn't have enough speed on there, whereas the speed being carried by Taylor on the outside. I don't know, though. I still think we're going to see a little beat and banging here at the end.
Taylor's gone wide. He's opened the door. He's got the forward bite, and he gets it. He holds on to the position, up over the launch zone. One more corner for Scott Taylor.
He's going to hang on to this. I don't think Ricky's going to square this one up fast enough.
It's going to be a wire-to-wire win for Scott Taylor. Ricky Johnson retakes the point lead with second. Rob McCachran third. A good run for Robbie Gordon, but he hasn't made the finish yet, as he's going to back across the line. Robbie's always got to do it in style.
Only Robbie Gordon can finish like that.
It means he'll finish sixth. Todd LeDuc will finish fourth. Evan Evans fifth. Unbelievable race. Clean sweep for Scott Taylor, as he also gets the Oakley Bomb Run Award with the fastest lap by almost a second. And for the sixth time in 12 starts at Crandon, he's the winner. Tiffany's with him.
Scott, congratulations. This was your second hole shot in as many days. Was that the key to getting the win out here today?
It sure is, Tiffany. The whole shot means everything here. Goodrich Tires got us off the line. We made a really good aggressive cut. And, you know, you're running against Todd and Robbie Gordon and Rob McCachran, which are all good racing peers of mine. And, you know, what a great weekend to win with a new exposure of our Miller sponsorship. And I can't say enough for all the great folks behind me. And look at the great crowd. The people are still lining up to get in here. It's going to be a blowout all day long. But, you know, the Crandon people did a wonderful job, and everything is going really super in the series, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. And we hit fast lap time today again, so that's 3 for me.
Congratulations, Scott. Back to you, Marty.
All right, take a look at the championship points chase. Scott Taylor does move up a position in the points, and so does Ricky Johnson by 2 over Todd LeDuc. Boy, Paris, California is going to be fun. Get your tickets now. Rob McCachran's only 8 back, and as we mentioned, Taylor now 42 markers behind. Let's check in with Tiffany with second and third.
All right, Ricky Johnson, you told me earlier you wanted to be more aggressive. How frustrating was it when you were trying to close that gap on Taylor?
Well, you know, I got to give all props to Taylor. He drove a great race. You know, I didn't want to crash him the last couple laps, but he drove an awesome race. I screwed up. I went to third. I pulled it back into neutral, so I blew the start. You know, I really got to, you know, congratulate Robbie Gordon. I mean, the guy's just, he's the man. He comes out here, puts it to us on the whole shot, puts it to us on qualifying, but it was great to race with everybody. You know, my Red Bull Bosch Power Tools, Kumo Tires Ford F-150 was fast. I had the truck at the end, but I got to give respect to the champ.
All right, and Rob, get on over here. Talk to me about, was the points race racing through your mind when you were out there today?
Well, it was a little bit. You know, we want to win the points championship for Rockstar Energy and BF Goodrich Tires, but, you know, great racing. You know, we got Fords up here, 1, 2, 3. Scotty Taylor, my good buddy on BF Goodrich's, and myself on BF Goodrich's first and third. So, you know, excellent event. Robbie Gordon, as Ricky said, you know, awesome driver to come out here like he did, and he's very talented, and we really appreciate him coming out, and we really like beating him, too.
And that brings us to our closest championship battle of the year, where Ricky Johnson and Pro2 sprinted to the top of the points lead. So the winner for the third time this year, Ricky Johnson. Fellow two-wheel star Jeremy McGrath continued his fight for first win. Oh, look at Jeremy McGrath. But the hugely talented veteran Rob McCachran soon started racking up checkered flags. It was Rob McCachran with Kyle LeDuc also finding his way onto the podium. The bad blood boiled up last round. They're going to settle it here tonight, and it's coming up next.
And it all comes down to this: the duel of Ricky Johnson and Rob McCachran in the desert of Las Vegas. Only 9 points separate these two gladiators as they battle it out flag to flag, and it all starts right now.
And the one thing you have to remember, Rob McCachran, if he finishes third or better, it doesn't matter what happens with the other guys involved in this mix.
This is a great points battle. This is what we wanted right here. Ricky Johnson, Rob McCachran, Todd LeDuc, an outside chance. But we saw it last round. Tempers flared. Ricky and Rob, this is going to be a great battle to the finish.
16 trucks. That's Dan Vandenheuvel on the front row in the red 77, along with Scott Taylor right alongside. You can see Ricky Johnson starts 5th, Rob McCachran 6th in the inversion. And we're green at Las Vegas, the final race of 2009.
You see right there, you got Vandenheuvel on the outside. Look at McGrath going to the bottom.
Oh, and Jeremy.
No.
gets wide, and look who inherits the lead. From 5th to 1st, it's the 48 of Ricky Johnson.
Ricky Johnson just patient right there. He saw it set up. He saw McGrath go to the inside.
Bad. It's sort of like that. I think driving in the dust is a little bit scarier just because it's like whiteout. You have no idea where you're at.
Well, you learn that from desert racing, Jeremy. The more you do the desert, you have those dust issues. But Rob McCackern now starting to pick away at these guys that he needs to be at. You see the movers. Look at some names up there. Archiero, Menzies, off-road guys. But the Archiero family hasn't been in the short course world for a long time.
Yeah, Father Frank Jr. was a big off-roader, and both his brother and great racing family for the desert, and now trying their hand at the short course. Right there, you look at our race leader, Ricky Johnson, doing everything he has to do. He must win this race, and he needs for the 11 of Rob McCackern to finish 4th or worse. And right now, he's got his wish because McCackern shown in 5th officially.
Yeah, you see Rob right now battling through the mud. This is just a war for Rob right now. You see him right there. What a great job. Actually, that's LeDuc right there battling with Rob.
They are side by side, and now he moves into 4th. So he's got one more position that he must make up to clinch the position he needs to win the championship.
And he's got Scott Taylor in front of him. That's going to be a tough job.
All right, let's get an update on track conditions. You can see how tough it is for Pro 2. Tiffany, what's the latest from down there?
Before the start of this race, Ricky Johnson was out here personally checking up on this track, and the crew has been working around the clock to help alleviate some of the problems from last night. They put down calcium chloride and soap, hoping that mixture would help the dirt absorb more water. In addition to that, they've put down more than 20,000 gallons of water throughout the day, with the thinking that the water could seep down into the soil as deep as possible, so when these trucks ran out here tonight, they wouldn't take off the top layer and leave us with just dust.
And remember, with Pro 2, you don't have that front-wheel drive pulling you through the corner, so that makes it much harder. And look at Bryce Menzies, his 2nd career TORC Series start, and here he is running in the top 5.
Looking good. Got Butchie Speed Shop on the side of the old Butch Dean, another famous off-road racer from Vegas.
Right, we talked about the championship. How about if we hear from Ricky Johnson, the man who's leading in front?
It's been a tight battle. As a promoter, this is what you want. You want it coming down to 2 guys. I mean, it'd be great if there was just a couple points and whoever wins, but if I win, he gets 2nd, he'll win the championship. If he has a problem, he gets back, I can win it.
It's not over, Marty. We've seen this for years. I mean, I remember my first Soda Championship, 95, same thing. Anything can happen.
Well, don't forget, we've got the competition caution coming up, and that will tighten everybody else. Here are the scenarios on how McCackern clinches, and there you can see he's in front of Todd LeDuc. That's exactly where he wants to be. And Scott Taylor has just given him another position because Taylor has snapped the right front.
That thing's gone. That's going to take more than a Miller welder to fix that. The right front is destroyed. I didn't see him hit anything out there, Marty. Where's the tire?
That moves McCackern into 3rd. That's exactly where he needs to finish this race. As you see on our GoPro onboard camera, Rob McCackern surviving the mud, and he may just survive long enough to win a championship.
That's exactly what Rob wanted. I mean, Scott Taylor was going to be his toughest guy up there to get by. Now all he's got to do is get by Bryce Menzies. But look at how much weight is on these race trucks right now, Marty. That mud, Ricky Johnson's in the lead. He still has probably a couple 100 pounds of mud. Wait till we go back and look at right here this battle with Menzies. Oh, and Rob McCackern. Look at the amount of mud caked on these things. That's a huge setup issue for the crew chiefs before this race started.
Heading down that hard left-hander. Menzies, he's on the outside. McCackern's on the inside. McCackern wants to get into 2nd because, remember, he picks up a bonus point. Oh, and he hits the wall.
I can't believe Rob's taking that chance. I know you get bonus points for getting to this lap, trying to minimize that damage. But, man, you get a flat right there, Rob. You cost yourself.
Well, here we go to the competition caution. Ricky Johnson gets 2 bonus points and 1 point for Rob McCackern. So McCackern will start 2nd when we come back for the shootout. You talk about the cameras that get us those great onboards? That's what they look like. AMSOIL brought to you by Traxxas, the fastest name in radio control. AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. And Kumho Tires. Get your style. We Get ready to go back to green flag racing halfway through this AMSOIL Pro two-wheel drive competition. It's Ricky Johnson out in front, and there is Rob McCackren in the 11 on the high side trying to make the pass for the lead.
I don't know if he got it there. He tried to get on the outside. Looks like Ricky, whoa, look at the big lead Ricky pulled out. I think Rob lost a spot there. That's Rob in third now. That's the Rockstar Ford of, yes, that's Todd LeDuc.
You're right, but third is good enough. Remember, that's exactly where he needs to finish. It doesn't matter what happens with Todd or Ricky. It would be Rob McCackren's championship.
Yeah, but we saw what he did. Look at him putting his hand up. Look at him getting pelted by... that's a dangerous move right there, Marty. Remember years ago, Scott Taylor broke his forearm behind knee trying to block some rocks. It's always dangerous when you do that.
And Taylor, as we already know, out of this race with that broken right front suspension. Right now, Todd LeDuc trying to do all he can to track down Ricky Johnson, but Ricky has about a 6-truck length lead.
Well, and remember, LeDuc still has an outside chance in the championship if he can get these guys to break, so he's looking for it.
Yeah, he needs both these guys to give him some help, though. Right now, this is the points battle. 1 point separates McCackren from Rick Johnson. That's what happens by being in third and Ricky up front. And no, LeDuc spins out, and that means McCackren's now second.
Wow, what a great move by Robbie to miss that. That is not what Ricky Johnson wanted to see. He was hoping they'd collect each other right there.
And now the 3 of Todd LeDuc has to fight his way back. A little further back, there's Ryan Arciero in his rookie debut. He's got the idea. Whoops, well, almost.
Arciero Vineyards on the side of that. Mr. Arciero's wines are very tasty, if you ever wondered.
Don't drink and drive at the same time, though, especially off-road. It could be very painful. All right, let's set this for you because it is still Ricky Johnson in front and Rob McCackren second. It's McCackren's championship if it stays the same. Let's go back and show you what happened here with the 3.
Right there, Todd LeDuc over-rotated McCackren on the brakes right at the last second, just misses him. That could be the championship move.
Well, before the race, Todd talked about the season that he's had.
You know, to be in the points chase, you know, at Paris, you know, even the second to last round, coming here, I was like, wow, this is like a dream year. And this series is so cool, dude. I really enjoy it here. Like, all the best drivers are here. The sponsors are here. The TV's getting better. And, you know, these tracks here in these big cities, I think it's really cool.
Marty, the TV's getting better. Is that us?
Well, I'm thrilled that I'm called dude, you know? On board with Ricky Johnson as he is doing everything he can. And he has radio communication. He knows exactly what's going on behind him.
Absolutely. Right now, his spotter's telling him right where Rob is. His spotter's telling him that he's in the spot. His spotter almost gave him the best news Ricky could ask for, which was him and Todd collected each other. Rob did a great job of missing it. Now Ricky just needs that mistake, and Ricky's just driving smooth. Look at Ricky right now. He's just putting that thing right in that soft dirt, right where he wants it. He's not pushing anything real hard. And McCackren, though, he's in clear air also. He's doing the same thing, just trying to stay safe.
Well, Ricky Johnson has 4 wins. So does Rob McCackren. The difference is, back at Bark River in round number 7, Ricky Johnson came home in 14th position. The white flag is out. He's going to look back, and if he loses this championship, and it looks like he might, that's the round that's going to haunt.
We saw it a second ago when Rob was in third. It's 1 point. How about the 2 bonus points that Rob, or the 1 bonus point Rob battled for with Menzies on that last corner? This could be big.
There's the margin back to second place to Rob McCackren. Todd LeDuc's out of the mix. He is running in 4th right now. In fact, he's battling it out with Dan Vandenheuvel right there.
And Vandenheuvel's trying to get up to 4th in points, so there's point battles everywhere.
And remember, Vandenheuvel got spun out, I think, at least once, and then got nudged another time.
Oh, and he's nudging old Todd LeDuc back right there. Dan not taking any of the LeDuc stuff. He's got experience on his own side.
Here's Ricky Johnson. He's done everything he possibly could today. He is coming home with the win. The problem is, off into the distance, you're going to see the number 11 of Rob McCackren as he's going to win his first ever 2-wheel drive championship here in TORC competition. And look at the battle for 3rd. It's going to be Vandenheuvel getting Todd LeDuc right at the stripe with Mike Oberg coming across the line in 5th. So the championship goes to McCackren. The race win goes to Ricky Johnson. He has the most wins, but he's going to lose the championship by so little. Let's talk to him.
With the points race being so close, is there any regrets about maybe being or having want to have been more aggressive earlier in the season?
But yeah, I mean, you can always say, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. There was times when I was a little too patient. There was times I made some mistakes and was maybe too aggressive and got caught up and stuff. But it plays out the way it plays out. I'm really proud of everybody from TORC. They put on an awesome series. They put this thing together with no time at all. And to be here on ABC is awesome.
Dan, congratulations. You had a couple of battles going on out there, a little bit with McCaffrey, a little bit with Duke. Were you trying to be the spoiler out there?
We had a great tire setup. Max has hooked us up awesome today. I went into corner one. Jeremy got a little aggressive, spun me out, came back, spun me out again. I'm way back in the pack. Had to fight from darn near last all the way up here on the podium. We had to, and I believe we took 4th place. So we had to be here. I was battling with Todd there for a while. And I knew, if he got in front of me, I don't think it helped his points any, but I had to stay here to get 4th. So this is way cool.
Well, and the sad news for Dan is he's off by 4. He's 5th behind Jeremy McGrath. Let's talk to our champion.
I knew it was going to be tough. Ricky's a very, very tough competitor. And when I came out here, I saw this mud on the track. I was like, man, I got to stay out of trouble. And we got spun around right there in the first corner. I got back, and I said, oh, boy, here we go. Things going to start not falling into place for us. But, our spotter, Ian, kept telling me, dig, dig, dig. And, I kept counting the points in my head. And I tell you what, there was a big sigh of relief for me, and I'm sure all of my team, once we're in 2nd place and just running around there riding the rail, watching Ricky get out front. The guys at Rockstar Energy Drink, BF Goodrich Tires, Fox Shocks, Mastercraft Seats, Jim Blackmore, crew chief, Dave Frugia, they worked really hard all year long for this championship.
And there's another group that we should congratulate. It's everybody at TORC. Believe me, I know how difficult it is to run a brand new race series, and they did a superb job. Final thoughts from you, Brendan?
What great racing. I can't wait till next year. ABC, TORC did a great job, but look at the level of competition they put on the track.
And it has stops all around the country, and it's going to be back again next year, and the racing will be bigger and better than ever. For our entire ESPN on ABC crew, I'm Marty Reed. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Traxxas TORC Off-Road Racing Series. Till we meet again.